What's going on, people? We're gonna go ahead and let the room fill up a little bit. I'm gonna pray. My sister in right now. I've been trying to get her for a minute. She's busy. Doing what she does. Recovery, zooming, 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 and that's what I've been doing. And I just figured I'd bring her to the front and let each and every one of y'all hear her story. And I know it's a lot of women that struggles on my page. A lot of new people that's just getting into recovery, finding recovery, and I'm here to share Michelle with y'all. I'm gonna pray her in, and I'm gonna let God take us out of ego and let God do the work for us both. So if we can get them hearts going, get the shares going, share this thing out. The more people share it, the more people it reaches. That's what That's what I know for sure. And so I'm gonna pray in. All right, Lord Almighty God, I just want you to place hands on Michelle and just lift her outside herself and allow her to get honorable, honest, transparent, and vulnerable, and just be with her. She struggles at any lack of confidence, low self-esteem, or low self-worth that you just lift that off of her, and you place an honest message on her to touch the sick and suffering addicts and the people that are just struggling with this coronavirus, and to the people that's out there all over the world struggling with this coronavirus and their feelings, to just find a Zoom platform to go to and share about what they are going through, and just be with us tonight. Amen. So go ahead. It's yours.
Oh, shit. Hello, family. My name is Michelle, and I am a grateful recovering addict. I'm from Detroit. I have qualified myself. I have 17 years clean. I work a 12-step program. I have a sponsor. I have sponsees. I do everything that, like a fucking good addict is supposed to do. I can say if we start sharing my story, I got to say my problem started when I was a little girl, and quite before I can remember. I know I was molested as a child. My mom always worked and had these people babysitting me. And as long as I remember, is Doug Peterman, and I wasn't able to go to school, so I was maybe like 3 years old. And all I can remember is him putting me on the top bunk and touching me and shit. Happened a couple times later, and it's still in the younger years. My mom being a single mother, because my dad left my mom right after I was born, she would date these different guys. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with like the French ways how they do shit, but when the French people, they let the kids get like a shot of wine and a glass of 7-Up. So I was introduced to alcohol like at a really young age that way. And then my mom always drank slow gin and Diet Coke, and she'd always let me have a sip. Now looking back on it, I think it was probably to put my ass to sleep so she could get some. I don't really know, but that's just kind of how it went. As a teenager, I went to schools in Detroit public schools. I skipped school a lot. I got caught smoking weed in school. My dad was a school teacher, and when he stopped teaching for a little while and went on I don't know what the fuck you call it, he turned into a hippie or some shit, and he started growing weed. And I went down to Tennessee, because even though I was born in Detroit, I spent every summer in Tennessee, so I'm kind of like a ghetto Billy. And me and this other boy Howie, we was like 12 years old. We started snooping around, we're chilling and shit, and we found the weed. So we didn't know really what it was. We knew they was smoking it. We took a leaf and we went up in the barn and we rolled it up. That wasn't really that good. And then we found the buds like in a horse barn. Like had a horse barn and all these different stalls, and between each stall was like a big ass bud, like this big growing. We started picking off of each of them. And so here's where, first I had alcohol, now the weed's coming in. So when I was in, I don't even remember if I was in high school yet. It had to be like, I want to say it was like 9th grade. Me and this girl would skip school and we'd go to this old Mexican man named Julian's house. And I was introduced to freebasing. And I don't know how that shit didn't stick like the crack did in later years, but it really didn't, because I was still going to school. I had a president, a highwayman lived across the street from me. I would go over to his house to like make extra money and wash dishes and shit. And he would fucking have naked girls running all over the place and shit. And, you know, I'm smoking the shit over there too. But once again, like that shit didn't stick. Like I did it and I was able to stop and carry on, you know, and I got pregnant at 19. I was with my husband since 15. I got pregnant at 19 and I had my first daughter. And then I had my son, Timmy. And I would say when they was about 4 or 5, I think 4 or 5, 5 or 6, I lost my little brother, Jimmy. Now, I used to always go, I was like the school bus driver taking the kids to school, and I would take the kids off, drop them off, and I would go back to my BFF's house and we would smoke. And I missed a phone call from my mom that my niece had lice in her hair, and she left work to go get her, caught my little brother at home. And my little brother fell with the gun, and it was just a little 22, so it just ricocheted in his head. And I held a lot of guilt onto that, well, if I wouldn't have been over there smoking weed, I would have been there when my mom called and been able to, you know, go pick my niece up, so none of that would have happened. And because I had to be strong for my mom during that time, I didn't have no outlet where to share stuff, how to get through shit. And I just started drinking fucking more and more and more. You know, I worked, so I was working, drinking on the weekends, snorting coke on the weekends. And before you know it, like I'm at a bar with a girlfriend, and now, like I said, I snorted lines, and she tells me to go, she has me give somebody a ride to go get something. And now I'm introducing crack into my system, like the actual crack. And like from that point forward, it was literally a downhill fucking path. I wasn't going home. My kids were being stuck at a babysitter's. The state finally took them, put them with my mother-in-law. And that was the best thing for them at the time, because I wasn't being any type of mother. When I tell you that fucking crack is the devil, let me fucking tell you. Because as a parent and any mother out there who's like smoke crack and shit, or I guess whatever drugs, like knows, like I could think about my babies and I could get a tear to fucking come out, like one tear, and I could instantly shut that shit off. Like, how the fuck am I going to get one more and stop thinking about it? You know, I was in my crack addiction for probably like just a little over 3 years. When I got out on the streets after the kids got taken away, I learned, well, let me scoot back a little bit. We're smoking at the house. My husband caught me smoking rocks. He found crack baggies in the car. He brought a prostitute home and said, well, okay, if you're going to smoke this shit, we're going to do together. So here's like a threesome. And he brought a fucked up crackhead home too. I'm like, damn, you couldn't find something nicer? But I'm just like, you know, either way, that's how it fucking happened. Now it's okay to smoke crack in the house. So we're smoking fucking crack. You know, he was still working. The money's getting spent up. And then one night he's like, it's all gone. I'm trying to go to sleep. He's like, bitch, you better get up and go get some more. I'm like, nigga, I'm sleeping. Like, you know, what do you want me to do? He's like, if you don't fucking get up right now and go make some money to get some, I'm waking these kids up. Because I kept telling him, you know, you're going to wake the kids up. You're going to wake the kids up. And pretty much so he forced me out to suck dicks to fucking get some more rocks. And that's what I did. And, you know, it turned to him putting on fucking booty shorts and shit, going out on the streets and, you know, doing what he had to do. And God, pray to God, oh my God, I pray to God my kids don't see this shit, because that's, you know, that's some shit they don't need to know. My kids don't need to know that shit. I've never told them that, and I've never felt a fucking need to tell them, because you know what? I took the fucking blunt of the shit once I got clean and came back into the life. You know, I was the bad guy because I'm the one that left them. I'm the mother. I was the fuck up, you know. But once I started going out and I learned how to make that money, I'm going out, I'm turning tricks and making money. I ended up staying in a dope house, like literally right around the corner from my mom. And I experienced my first, you know, not like a raid. It's like more of a police, what the fuck do they call it? Like where they just try to intimidate you to get you out of the neighborhood. They come and they bust on the door and shit. I'm trying to smoke my shit. Like, I don't want them to take it, blah, blah, blah. You know, they never got in, but it was the first of many run-ins with the police. I experienced my first being robbed by a trick, and I cried like a little bitch. I was like, damn, like you took my shit. I had to go out and do it again. And it was just an endless revolving door of like, fucking sucking dick, buying rocks, getting harassed by the police, getting fucking robbed by tricks. There's so many multiple fucking times that I know I should have been killed out on them streets. And, I think it's only through the grace of God, that I wasn't. I'll say my last 2 weeks, I went to jail for the 4th time. I got out of jail. I went back to the neighborhood in Brightmoor. It's like a neighborhood inside of Detroit. Brightmoor thought Southwest people was crazy. Southwest people thought Brightmoor was crazy. All the motherfuckers were crazy. It didn't matter where he's from. It's all the same shit. But I'm over there, and I got a trick early in the morning. We bought some shit off this one guy, and I knew him. It was a new spot, fairly new. And we went out, we smoked, we did it. I took my money. I went back to him later that night, and he's like, Michelle, why'd you tell the police about my spot? I'm like, the fuck you talking about? I ain't tell no police about your spot. He goes, there was this cop, we called him Eddie Murphy because he looked just like Eddie Murphy. He's like, well, yo, like Eddie Murphy drove by my crib and he was looking at us and he ain't never looked at us before. And I'm like, nigga, you're a dope dealer. You're on the fucking corner of Burt Road and fucking Outer Drive. Like, you don't think the fucking cops are gonna look? Needless to say, I had a gun held to my head that night from the time I got there, which was probably like between 9 and 10 o'clock till about 4 in the morning. I tried to run once. The dude caught me and took me back in. The other guy was a new guy, and I was supposed to be his like initiation or whatever into this drug game. And he kept asking me, well, why would I snitch on him? Why would I snitch on him? Like, I didn't fucking snitch on you, man. I didn't. And I kept saying it, and they kept questioning me. It's like it went on. They was talking about how they got to wait till after 4 o'clock in the morning or after 3 o'clock in the morning till the bars closed and all the cars were off the road so they would have a place to go dump my body. They was just pretty much like it was getting ready. Like I really thought it was going to happen. They took me in the room. He came back in the room finally about 4 o'clock. He's like, Michelle, I believe you. So next thing you know, well, I'm an addict and I'm a crackhead and I need rock. So I sucked both their dicks, got some rocks, and went on. I heard later on that the next guy who was a suburbanite trick that come and rent their cars. You know how the motherfuckers come from the suburbs. If you're from B-More, you're probably familiar. Yeah. Motherfuckers come from the suburbs to buy their shit. They rent out their car, and to all their banks and shit is depleted. And then, and then they got to go home. Well, this was one of them kind of motherfuckers, and he's the one that fucking got the cap to the head.
Wow.
Like, honest to God, like seriously, man, I can't tell you how much, like, I know it's only through the grace of God that I'm here today. A little bit, like, right after that, like 2 or 3 days after that, I was tweaking at a fire, like I don't know, I like fucking fires or some shit. And I'm sitting, like, the fire department's there, because the house burned down, like, all the time. It's Detroit. You guys see what Detroit looks like on the news. So these houses burn. And I fucking went to, I'm sitting on the curb and I'm smoking, and this guy pulls up like, come here. I go get in the car with him, and I had 240s, and I done got like $200 off them 240s. He pulled out an electric taser, and he didn't want me to get out the car. And I'm like, fuck, like, you done smoked everything. Like, I don't have anything else. And it finally got to the point where he was reaching to get a twig to push the stem with. And I tried to take that moment to jump out of the car, and he took off as I was opening the door, and I kind of just did one of them tumble and roll kind of things out the car. And I went and I dove into like these trees that were cut down. He got out the car to try to chase me, but he couldn't find me in there because probably he's tweaking too much. And I stayed there for an hour. So needless to say, like, my last 2 weeks of using was literally, I thought I was going to die 2 times. I can't even tell you. I know the one with the gun held to my head. Like, I never ever really been that fucking scared in my life.
Mm.
I can't really say anything that was a reason for me to get through it. Now, when I got clean, I felt, well, you know, if I start talking to my husband and shit, since my kids live with his mom and he lives there, it's going to be the quickest way for me to get back in my kids' life. So I go to jail. Well, minus that, I caught another case. So I go to jail. I do 6 months in jail. And then I get out for a week. And then I go to treatment for 3 months. Now, September 5th, 2002 is my clean date. And I'll do whatever the fuck it takes to save that fucking date. Relapse is not part of my story. And just for today, it's not anyways. And, you know, I pray it doesn't never have to be. I mean, if it is, I pray that I can get back here quick enough because, you know, I'm a bitch. Like, I think, like, I'm scared that, like, if I go out and use, like, am I going to fucking make it back? Because the guilt and the shame kept my ass out there then. You know, but when I first got clean, I got out of treatment and now I'm living with my husband, the fucking kids, and my son starts acting up. Now, we can say what the fuck we want. People say, oh, you can't own that shit because your kid's doing shit. No, we fuck our kids up when we leave them. I don't give a fuck who you are. We fuck our kids up. Now, my son was out stealing, it started stealing radios, hanging out with these little gangbangers. And literally he said it because he started like going to juvie, catching these little juvenile cases and shit. And that's what it took for me to get him some help because I tried everything I could and I couldn't get him nothing. But we had a juvenile session where it was like a family type meeting thing. And he wrote like a whole story, like, mom, like, you know, mom and dad, like, you guys gave us the best fucking birthdays ever. You gave us the best Christmases. We had all we could want. But like you guys weren't never really there because you was always drinking and shit. And, you know, he said, like, you know, leaving him, he turned to the gangs for that love that he wasn't getting at home from me. And so at, what was he, 18? No, 17 or some shit, he caught a home invasion case. He did 3 years. Now, when he got the 3 years, hey, see that Ken Palm right there? That's your next person.
Yeah.
You next. Get that motherfucker, tag him on some shit right now. I'm just saying. He started, he had a baby born. And look, I became a grandma in recovery. Like look, it is awesome. And that's, to me, becoming a grandmother when your kids give you grandchildren, that's the gift you get for not killing your children when they're fucking teenagers because they're little assholes. But my kid went on to cause me hell after that with running away. I'm fucking running up in the fucking spots and chasing them fucking down alleys in the suburban and shit. Like I was doing all kinds of shit. And, you know, so he goes to prison. He does the 3 years. He gets out. We think he's going to do good. And he gets out and I didn't know what the fuck a whippet was. They're one of my pet peeves. I hate them little fucking whippet bottles. You know the little cans? You guys get that shit in Baltimore, where the fuck you're at? Yeah. I hate them fucking things. I have a big resentment with them motherfuckers. I absolutely hate them. And I heard my son was doing that shit. I got all of, he would be like, Ma, can I hold $5? Can I hold $5? Yeah, go down there and pick that fucking shit out from in front of the house because if I see my kids with it, I'm going to kick your ass. Well, next thing you know, my son has another case of he picked up his friend Andrew, who was he was drunk and just found out his girlfriend was cheating on him, and he wanted my son to drive. So apparently, my son drives better drunk than him, and they went out and Timmy just drove the car. But they pulled over. He like pistol whipped this chick. She turned out to be a CI, an informant for the police, and a dope fiend. But because she worked for the police, she was valuable to them. So they went really hard on him. And my son is right now serving a 14-year bid up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Now look, there's times, man, I own that shit, dog. I own it. I know I shouldn't, and I don't, because he was a grown-ass man. He makes his own decisions, but I own it. But see, like, because I'm in recovery, you know, I work a 12-step program. You know, I have a sponsor. I try to follow spiritual principles to the best of my ability. For the most part, man, I don't let it fuck with me like that. But like as a woman and other women are identified, there's certain times of the month that shit I own every fucking inch of it. I'll own it to the effect that this motherfucker is now hurting my grandchild. You know, and it gets hard. I just dealt with him. I just the other night he called me. He's like, "Mom, I got myself in a pickle." I'm like, "The fuck you talking about?" He goes, "Well, we left out to go to the store, and this motherfucker came in my cell, and he took mine and my bunky's commissary. We got back, and old dude across the way told me who did it, so I went over there to check him. We got in a fight in his cell, and the TV got broke. Well, the TV belonged to a blood, and and apparently the dude who stole the shit had a fucked up eyeball. He ended up going to the hole, so now the blood can't get the shit from his bunkie. So of course he goes to Tim. And I tell you, man, Carl, let me tell you, a fucking parent's worst nightmare, man. I've always like scared and shit of my kid being in prison, but I know my son, and he's not gonna back down from a fight. And this happened when he did the 3-year bid. Like he fought 5 dudes, and he kind of got the best of them. So now they had a hit out on his head, you know, because the next thing is shaking him because they know they can't, you know, beat his ass just fighting. So, you know, he called me, and, you know, fuck that shit. My heart went to my fucking stomach. I felt sick. Oh God, I can't even tell you. It was fucking awful. And I ended up paying $150. I sent it to his girl and shit, you know, through Cash App. And you know, but I paid it. And part of me sometimes it's like, you know, I feel, you know, yeah, he's my baby. It's like no matter what kids do, we're still gonna love them. It's like they're still gonna love us. You know, as a mother, you know, it's hard, and I'm so grateful for that shit. But man, I gotta say today, like a lot of things that kept me clean is when I first got into a 12-step program, like, you know, I got involved with service work. And just let me fucking tell you, man, service work, it's not going to keep you clean, but it will enhance your recovery better than any fucking thing else you do. You know, back in the day, it was emptying the fucking ashtrays, you know, what shit like that, making a coffee, emptying the ashtrays, setting up the meeting, you know, being a treasurer, secretary, doing what you're doing. Carl, thank you for your service, my friend. Thank you. You know, I've caught you here and there, like I be looking about, who's this crazy motherfucker right here? Like, loud and boisterous, and you know what? But you get your message out, and that's what's good. And sometimes we got to come at people different ways because each person has something different to give to the next person. Because we see some of my predecessors are old, soft-spoken, and sometimes that shit didn't click with me. I needed a hardcore motherfucker coming at me, telling me how it is. You know, it's like, work this fucking program or die, bitch. And that's straight how it is. You know, it's not a fucking game out there. The fentanyl is out there fucking dropping motherfuckers like it hot. Now what's the new one? Is it called carfentanil or some shit? It's even fucking worse, you know. I'm chairman of the Southwest Alamo Club as well. Oh, you can't see my whole shirt, but Southwest Alamo Club, and like we keep Narcan, you know, in the club, but we also have the fire department right across the street. You know what I'm saying? And we do our best. We struggle for being in Southwest Detroit. You would think we would have some big, huge meetings, but it's hard. It's hard as fuck. Like we have to. I can sit here and talk a good game. But I can't quote the fucking book. I don't really recognize that. I can't quote the fucking book. All I can give you is my experience, strength, and hope. And yes, a lot of time I don't qualify myself because I don't think I'm good enough and shit. You know, but all I can do is work the program to the best of my ability and give my experience strength and hope. And that's, you know, one thing is don't fucking pick up the first one. With this coronavirus out there, yeah, you got motherfuckers dropping from it. But damn, I don't know about where you're at, Carl, but motherfuckers are relapsing, man. They are
Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh, then you went from Baltimore to Pittsburgh, one hood to another hood, huh?
Nah, I'll share that with you after you're done. So what are some of the things like that you've been through and you didn't pick up and you got through? You persevered through.
I got divorced from the husband who like made me go out and trick from the get. And I never dealt with that, Carl. I never fucking dealt with that. I buried that shit. I pushed that shit so far down. It took another traumatizing experience for it to come back up. But I got divorced. I got married again to somebody in recovery. I got divorced again. I was left literally, this motherfucker left me with a computer desk, a computer chair, and a refrigerator. And that was it. I started again with absolutely fucking nothing. The death of my brother, I had moved to New Jersey and I lived in Jersey for a couple years. And I moved in with a fucking alcoholic. I was going to be Captain Save-A-Hole, you know, like I thought I could fucking fix somebody. And so I moved out there. I'm there like not even 90 days. And this motherfucker's telling me, bitch, get the fuck out. I'm like, 90 days. Going, no, what the fuck is you talking about? No, I'm going to, yeah, I'm kind of staying. I'm not going no place. And I did write it out because I could block his shit out. But it got to a point where it got to be like just too much. Because once again, it's that certain time period I can deal with some shit. And then other times I couldn't because I'll punch a motherfucker dead in his throat because you can't have somebody in your face that all that alcoholism, watching them trying to get sober. And then he was fucking DTing, you know, like heroin addicts. And I'm always like, damn. But I left again. So when I left Jersey, I came back to Michigan once again, starting all over. So 2 times I had to go through in recovery, starting from scratch and starting over again. When I went back to Jersey that June for a friend of mine died out there. He was a truck driver because I'm like in trucking, and that's probably why I cuss so much because I'm like a dispatcher and I work with truckers all the time. And he died and we was out, motherfucker, we shut down the LIE for his memorial. We had like 200 show trucks going down the LIE. Like it was such an amazing thing to be a part of. But while I was on that convoy, I got the call that my brother got hit by a train in Tennessee. He literally, now the tracks, now if you're like from the hood, you got train tracks next to you. And a lot of us played on the trains and we took the trains here and there. But that was a fucking hard one. That was a hard one because I couldn't get right back here to be with my mom. And again, I did the same shit I did with my little brother, is I had to be strong and I had to help get my mom through it to make her okay. And that's one of the things that made it difficult. But see, this time I had a sponsor to call. I had a network to call. You know, I still continue to work the steps. I still continue to go to meetings. And I think that's what helped me not fall into that bullshit like I did when my little brother died, where I just spiraled out of control. But it's like the good and the bad. Like my grandbabies, you know, I got 3. I don't know. You can. Where the fuck are my grandkids at? Oh, they on the wall up there. Let's see. Can you see them up there? Their babies up there. That picture. That one. You know, I'm a grandma now, and that the gift of recovery has made me a grandma that my grandbabies don't know grandma as a crackhead, an alcoholic, or nothing like that. My grandson goes into meetings, and see, that's the thing. When you come around here a long time, our children grow up in this process. You know, my family knows, been at the Alano Club. My family knows my recovery friends. My recovery friends know my family. And, you know, my grandson asked me questions and I answered him. He was like, Grandma, where was you at? 9/11 happened. I'm like, I was in jail. Fuck. We got locked down. I was in jail when it happened. And, you know, but there's, you know, we take the good with the bad around here. It's not, don't ever think of like, if you're having a bad day in recovery, you know, don't look at it as a bad, because my worst day in recovery is better than my best day using. it's like, no matter what, I always got somewhere to turn to. This coronavirus is out there, so we're on fucking Zoom. You get a network. So if shit like this happens, if the internet were to go down, we all would be fucked up right now. But as long as we got a phone, fucking call somebody, make them calls. I got one sponsee, that bitch called me 8 o'clock every night because she knows she's having an urge. And that's all she talks for a couple of minutes, and you know what? It passes. It passes because right now motherfuckers are dying, man. This relapsing out there during this, because this is hard on all of us. Ain't none of us never been through no shit like this. It's new for all of us. We're laid off. We're bored as fuck at home. I turned into the fucking unemployment lady here. But see, that's the thing, is you get involved and you do the fucking service work. Chair a Zoom meeting for now. Meeting start back up. Go in, offer to set the meeting up, offer to make the fucking coffee. You would fucking go to area service for shit and giggles if you don't go for anything else, because them motherfuckers will crack you up because you think sometimes they ain't got no damn recovery because they act crazy as fuck sometimes. I'm just saying, we got the World Convention, and what is it, 2024? Is it 2024 be in Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah, that's what's up. Like I'm looking excited to that. It'll be my 3rd World Convention. And sometimes when you get out, if you've never been like to any of the conventions, we're supposed to the big liquid fellowship is supposed to be having their thing here, but I don't know because everything's getting canceled, So I don't know when the next ones will be, but I am looking forward to getting out. I got it. Look, I've been through Pittsburgh like a couple times, but I always took 80. I didn't like 76. There was too many headlights coming my way. But see, that's the thing. Like in recovery, look, my ass, a crackhead like me, been to Aruba, Carl. I went to fucking Aruba last September. And look, we tried to plan our next one. Let's go again. I'll go to fucking Aruba. But you come around here, I don't have a big mansion. I don't got a bank account full of money. It's kind of sad looking right now, but I got my own shit thanks to recovery. I got my own car thanks to fucking recovery. I got a job thanks to recovery. I still got my family thanks to recovery. And I got so many people that love me. When I posted that shit like about my son the other night, because my heart felt like it fucked me up so bad, motherfuckers, and they weren't necessarily in recovery, but motherfuckers was inboxing me, Carl, like, how much you need? How much you need? I got you, man. Just let me know. I got you. And see, that's because we gain some trust and we gain some respect around here. And seriously, that's what it's all about, man. And to any of these women, I heard you talking about like you got a lot of women and that's why your head's big, I heard. Or that was I forgot who said that. We love you, Carl, though, but like, yeah, to man, any of them women, man, you can do this. You can overcome this shit. If you only got a little bit of time, man, keep coming. The struggle is fucking real at first. I ain't gonna bullshit you like I did that shit on my own because I was locked up. I didn't have a choice but to get that first fucking 6 months. And technically the first 9 because I went into treatment. But in treatment, I went to the back of the book. I read about relapse and fucking recovery because I had a problem yelling at I would yell at the drugs instead of like the dude and just walking away. But you know what? No matter what, I'm gonna keep coming, Carl. And hopefully, by the grace of God, I have 18 years in September. And I'll be watching you, getting you some more stuff going on here. I'm sure I'll run into you at places here and there we go about because we know a lot of the same people. And you know what? We are so blessed with some awesome predecessors, man. We really are. And and look, you're gonna be a predecessor one day too. My people gonna be right behind you. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So, what are some of the things that you struggle with right now? Like defects or whatever you want to get into?
Dick. Like, I don't seriously don't know. It's like it's fucked up. Like sometimes, like, yeah, like because I mean, like being single, I can choose what I want sometimes. But I think the other things are shopping is bad for me. Shopping fucking fuck. It's another addiction in its own. CDs. I think me and you was discussing the CDs.
Yeah.
One's too many, 1,000 never enough. I love listening to speaker CDs, and I get into them. But I gotta say, it's a shopping. Fuck, it's eating. Oh my, wait a minute. Fucking fuck! I had to buy a whole nother carton shit to put food on because I think I'm gonna be stuck in a fucking house and not be able to go out. And my fat ass ain't eating nothing but zooms and wham whams around here and done fucking gaining. Fuck. Like, you know, and see, today the STEM fast diet is not a choice for me. Like, I can't do that shit anymore. I gotta actually try to work out, and I can't work out here. No, I'll go like maybe 5-10 minutes. I gotta have my ass in the gym, and they're all closed. Food, sex, gambling. Did we mention gambling? I like ponies, man. The fucking ponies get me. Oh, Michigan, like Michigan has lottery like on the phone. Fuck. It is. It's hard. And sometimes I gotta, and once I spend too much, and then it comes and it almost feels like you used because you're like, damn, I ain't got no money now. I can't do this. I can't do that. And you know, it is. It's out of control. Same thing with fucking eating. I get the guilt after like I eat a box of I thought I had some ho-hos around this bitch someplace. Oh, no, not ho-hos, Swiss rolls. I got Swiss rolls. And let's not buy this shit. But I'm like an addict in the store. Like I go in there and be like, oh, this shit looks good. And I'll go upstairs. Don't come down and get it. But I do. And it's even though I'm like 17 years clean, my disease comes out in other areas of my life. Don't think motherfuckers don't get clean and come up in here tricking. Everybody does. Well, I can't say everybody because I know a few people I respect and I love them to death, and I know they don't. The rest of us do. We do. And I say, you know what? And I feel bad because like somebody I fucked just passed away in New York like not that long ago, and I'm like, damn. And you know, I just don't. You know, I don't even know why I got into that. It's besides the point. But when you come in here. And if you're going around sleeping, you don't want people to think like you're just you're coming to meetings and shit, and you don't want to get known as the hoe in the fucking meeting because that will run your ass out of there. Motherfuckers come into the programs and they sit their ass at a table. When somebody talks sideways to them, you can't talk to me like that. The fuck you talking to me like that, bitch? You just came out of a crack house. Motherfuckers talk to you any kind of way. No, harden the fuck up and don't let anybody chase you out of here. No fucking matter what. Because it's you. It's your fucking life. The next time you go out, the next thing you picked up, that shit can have you fucking 6 feet under. Because like with this coronavirus, I would rather spend 6 feet apart from a motherfucker than 6 feet under. You know, straight the fuck up. I don't know. They told us that like, if you drank Wild Irish Rose or Boone's Farm back in the day, like you was immune to it. So I kind of hope like all the crack and drugs I did made me immune. Yeah. I don't really know. I don't really know. Thank you.
I appreciate you. That was a good story. It was funny.
That's all I can share is my experience, strength, and hope. And that's all I can. Look, the shit wasn't fucking the shit. The crack was fucked up 17 years ago, and I hear them putting fentanyl in it. And I'm like, why the fuck would anybody want to do that shit? So all I got is today. And if I don't come to you and share my shit with you, you know what I'm saying? I might have my ass in the dope house sharing it with the fucking dope man.
Yeah.
And you know, fuck my high up anyways. I couldn't do it.
I got a comedian coming on here from the program, the fellowship. She's a lady.
Okay.
She shares Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's from trying to think. I just go into groups and I reach out to people. That's how I find people. And right. I'm sure it's very important that we are really working on ourselves and continuing to work on ourselves because I used to get anybody on here, but I believe like it's very important to get somebody that's like really working a program. You know what I mean? Or working on it in general. You know what I mean? That's just
they say like take a workshop, but you know, yeah, take a fucking workshop. You don't get put right on no helplines or in no H&I commitment. You kind of got to know a little bit of what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I appreciate you. You have a good night.
Thank you. You too, Carl.
You too. Man, that was powerful, y'all. I'm telling you, man, she just dropped it off, man. I just want to let y'all know that I love you and I appreciate each and every one of you. Let me check FedEx. So the bracelets are coming in. So you might want to place your orders and let me know that if y'all want to get these bracelets. Let me check the FedEx. But I love each and every one of you. You're willing to share your experience, strength, and hope. Send me a message on here. You want the bracelets? We have a whole bunch of colors coming out. It's going to be amazing, man. I love y'all so much from the bottom of my heart. So what's going on? Anybody struggling? I know everybody's happy. They got them stimulus checks. Everybody's plugged in. So if you will like some bracelets, let me know. They're going to be coming in very soon. It was already shipped out. So let me know. And if y'all have any ideas on like what should I share on some topics? Should I bring other people on the page and share on the topic? Should I lower the time being shared? What do y'all want to see with inspirational freestyle recovery flow? You know, I'm not trying to say that I want to like collect, you know, I mean, you got to make money to live, man. And that's just what it is. I mean, I'm not trying to make no money off recovering addicts. I'm really trying to turn this page into a business. It's going to be outside with it. You know, it's what it's about, man. Lifting each other up, loving on people, man. You know, I got to deal with like I put the wrong account number on my stimulus check. And it might go on somebody else's account. But God got me. He will make sure that everything's okay. And I love y'all deeply from the bottom of my heart. I'm going to pray us out. Lord Almighty God, I just want to place hands on the people that are struggling with their feelings and emotion, and all the people in the world that are struggling. That the message was carried, people was touched, and Lord God, I'm a blessed man. Send the blessings down on me abundantly, Lord God, and just be with me and lift me up and heal me, Lord God, and of my defects of character, and just be with me and reach out to people. Amen. Love y'all so much. When in doubt, reach out. When in doubt, reach out. Dump the junk, put the drugs in the trunk, or be in prison up on the top bunk. Drop the dope and receive hope.